and Nick Richardson. Nick is President and CEO responsible for overseeing Solartis corporate operations, working closely with the leadership team in developing the company's business strategy. Brings a wealth of experience in enterprise software and insurance industry. Prior to co-founding Solartis, he was a senior vice president at ePolicy, led the national Medicare practice at Kaiser, and was also at McKinsey. For Nick Richardson from Solartis. For those in the room who are not certain about what a microservice architecture is or what the benefits are over a traditional monolithic software package approach, could you share your thoughts on the topic?
Thank you, Donald, and thank you to you, our customers and business partners on the panel for being willing to do this, for only being paid with tequila. So thank you for that. I think the microservices, I think the best way to start is to explain what they're not. And I think a good way of explaining what they're not is if you think of the movie A Beautiful Mind and Russell Crowe, when he'd lost his beautiful mind and he went into that room at the back that was covered in string. Well, that's a monolithic architecture. And that's what the world has been up until the advent of microservices, where all of the code, all the database, the UI, everything is in one package, and it's in one package that has to be maintained and scaled as one monolithic enterprise. Contrast that with a microservice enterprise or a microservice architecture, which is in no way unique or special to insurance. In fact, I think many would argue we're a little late to the game. But a microservices architecture has each of the individual components individually designed, they're individually subscribed, and they can be orchestrated together. So if you have a rating service, if you have an issuance service, if you have an endorsement service, if you have claims services, they can all be independently scaled, subscribed, and managed. The benefits of that are multifold. One of the key benefits is this move away from having to pick one solution. And you'll hear about it from, I think, my colleagues on the panel. In many cases, sometimes you might want to build your own services. Sometimes you might want to subscribe to third-party data services. Sometimes you might want to come to a company like Solartis for many of the microservices. But it gives you tremendous flexibility to be able to use and deploy and mix and match the services from different locations. I think the second benefit, and then I'll turn it over to my colleagues for their comments, is the ability to work independently. It's a huge, software is often a collaborative effort, but with the microservices environment, you can have teams that work independently and simultaneously without everybody having to get on multi-20-person conference calls, and the dependencies go away. So I think we've found that those two are tremendous benefits of microservices.
So, one of the things we've seen for many, many years in the world of insurance technology is kind of the build or buy question. And do you have your software developers create your own system, or do you go to a package vendor? And what strikes me about microservices is it's kind of a bridge. It's kind of a build and buy instead of a build or buy. Comment make sense?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And it's also, microservices lend to more of the demand-based pricing, more of the idea that you, say, for example, the natural based on transactions through that service. And so it's this world of sort of buying and spending a large upfront fee or a maintenance fee for a whole package sort of goes away, and you can move your costs as an insurer or an insurtech more into a scalable operating expense as opposed to a large capital expense that needs to be depreciated. And for an insurtech with a limited budget and a burn rate, that can be very important.